Good morning. Welcome everybody to the first day of ISE here in Amsterdam. Very excited to have with us the Digital Signage Federation Chairman, Rich Ventura, with us today. Rich, why are you here at ISE?
Well, we come here for a lot of reasons, obviously to support NEC, but also being that I'm the chairman for the DSF, we have our DSF Europe group. And so this is a great opportunity for us to meet with a lot of our partners, meet with our members, our constituents, do a little recruiting too, and spend a lot of time in understanding what's going on in the industry, especially before we get ready for DSE in the US here in 2 months.
Okay, well we're going to talk about all those subjects in a second. DSF, Digital Signage Federation, it started probably 8-9 years ago. Tell us a little bit about what the DSF is all about.
So the way the DSF started was really focused on education, standardization, helping set certifications. That's how we started, that's our core, right? Every year, every chairman, chairwoman, they have what's called their legacies. And so you go back to the years, it's our seal, it's our education, our hangouts, our meet and greets, our events, rebranding, the DSF Europe, global expansion. With me for this year, my focus is heavily on the Digital Signage Federation's ad council and also integrators, getting integrators more involved in the digital signage industry.
Okay, tell us a little bit more about the ad council. This is new, this was launched in New York NRF? New York Showcase.
Yes, during
last
the showcase.
October. Tell us a little bit more about the Ad Council.
Yeah, definitely. So we launched it at our Coffee and Controversy event, which we've started 2 years ago. And the folks on the Ad Council, what we saw was this huge lacking thing in the industry. Everybody's been focusing either at the brands or they're focusing at the agencies, but they're ignoring everything in the middle. It's all the technology companies, it's the small networks, the large networks, the software companies, the agencies, the aggregators, the content creation providers, all the different parts of digital signage, digital out of home, really looking at that, and then also looking at measurement. And that's a big thing, because unfortunately we look at measurement and everybody looks at historical measurement, right? And so we're looking at organizations like Geopath and other companies like that and understanding how are they measuring the industry, and then how do we truly set alignment for the industry as a whole.
Okay. Now we've had the initial announcement at the New York Digital Signage Week last October. What else can we expect from the Ad Council, maybe leading up to DSE in terms of announcements?
So at DSE we have a couple things. One is we will be announcing the Ad Council members at DSE, so we're very excited about that. We got a few other announcements that we're going to be lining up around the same time. What we also are doing is we're running the Digital Out of Home Strategy Summit, which is on the front end of DSE, so on Tuesday. We've got, I believe, close to 40 individuals that are speaking on various aspects of digital out of home.
Now the pre-DSE day conferences are normally well attended. What do you call the conference again?
Digital Out of Home Strategy Summit.
Okay, and that's the full day, so that'll be the Tuesday before the show proper?
Yes, it's Tuesday before, all-day event, starting in the morning all the way up to I think around 5 o'clock.
Okay, so that should be a good thing. I noticed you had Phil Langer from Show and Tell as one of the keynote speakers, which was...
Yes, yeah, we're really excited about having Phil. What we did is we broke down all the different aspects of digital out of home. So we have focus on IoT and smart cities, we have focus on analytics, global outlook, future technologies, strategies, mobile and omni-channel, and of course, programmatic. So we have different focuses behind every bit of the actual conference.
Okay, that sounds pretty exciting. Now, talking about this show, as we're talking about shows at the moment, what do you typically find of interest at a big show like ISE?
So ISE is a great opportunity for us to get a litmus test of what's going on in the industry. If you look at it, every year, you have 3 major shows. You have ISE, DSE, and Infocom. During that whole period, we can get a litmus test of what's coming off for new technologies, strategies, engagement, and also what's the feedback are we getting from the end users, from the end user community, whether they're our traditional AV guys, all the way to our digital out of home and digital signage people.
Okay, so you typically, Infocom is a much smaller show of course, but probably half the size of this one. Is that something that the DSF are involved in any way, or?
Yeah, we have, at Infocom, we usually have about 5 to 6 of us board members that are at the show, because a lot of us are major sponsors of Infocom, NEC, Peerless, you name it. But we also will have, we're also planning some meet and greets during Infocom as well, getting different aspects together. We're looking at stuff with the digital out of home community. We're also looking at some stuff with the integrator community as well.
Brilliant. Okay, well I look forward, I'll probably see you in Florida then. So explain to me, you're the chairman this year. I love the way the DSF chairman thing works. You talked about legacies, but you have the DSF chairman, then you have the vice chairman, and then the vice chairman this year is going to be the chairman next year. Tell us a little bit about Spencer, who's going to be the chairman next year.
Yeah, Spencer Graham. He's at University of West Virginia. One of the great things that we did at the DSF years ago was we set it so that it rotates. One year can be a manufacturer, the next year it's an end user, then it's a manufacturer. So the goal is that we always maintain every year we're representing each aspect of the industry, right? So Spencer has been on the board about as long as I have. Actually, we were both elected at the same time. Spencer brings obviously a different aspect coming from education, and he'll be the first true end user that will be in this position, in position when it comes to education.
Okay.
Because I mean, we've had Randy Dearborn last year. Randy was on hospitality, right? We've never had an education person running the DSF, so we're really excited about this.
Wow, that sounds really good. Education is a big part of DSF, not just in terms of the target audience, but what you do for the digital signage industry. One of the things that we like is the hangouts that you do. Do you want to explain a little bit about how many hangouts you tend to have in a year and what their focus is?
So historically what we've done is 2 to 3 hangouts a month. And what we try to do is we set out a calendar about 3 to 6 months out. What we found is a lot of people want deeper dives in those hangouts. And so what we've done now is we've scaled that back a little bit and had them more focused. So the next 2 that we have coming out are 100% around digital out of home. And so what we're doing is a lot more spending time with our constituents, members, talking to end users, network operators, the whole 9 yards, saying, what do you guys want to know more about? And then we're pulling. If you look at the upcoming ones, we have network operators, we have content suppliers, and we also have measurement. So we're trying to get that deeper dive. And I think this one is, I believe if I remember correctly, this might be about starting ad networks. And then the next one we're going to have is about monetizing ad networks. And then we'll do that in vertical markets as well. So we're continuing to expand them.
That sounds great. I think you spoke to me, maybe when we were in New York, you were talking about the legacies, your ad council, but there's another one that you're particularly interested in, which is integrators. How does that work?
So integrators are so important to the industry. Coming from NEC side, integrators are the core of our life. We sell through integration channel, right? They're our partners. Integrators have a massive opportunity for the entire digital out-of-home industry and digital signage industry. Everybody forgets that they're the ones actually doing the installation work. 9 out of 10 times the installer is an integrator. Majority of digital signage is going through those channels. And so both the DSE as well as DSF see that as a huge growth opportunity and a huge opportunity for an area we're missing. Not only are we talking traditional integrators like the Diversifieds of the world, AVI SPL, Whitlock, but we're also talking about the specialty guys like the sign manufacturers. So now we start talking about the guys like Signorama, Fast Sign, stuff like that we've always tried to engage through their shows. We're bringing them in now and say, listen, you tell us what you need. Instead of us coming to you and saying, here's what's going on in digital signage, why don't you tell us what you needed for your business and we can help grow your business.
Wow, that's a very, 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 very clever idea. Last question, I think, associations. Well, I've said this before publicly, Americans are very good at associations. There's something in your DNA where you love it, whether it be the OAAA or the DSF or Infocom, CD or whatever. You love associations and you're very, very good at doing them. The rest of Europe isn't so good at doing them. What are you trying to do globally with the Digital Signage Federation? Where can you help, say, Europe or Latin America with an association?
So we introduced DSF Europe last year. And what we've really spent a lot of time is trying to understand what their needs are. And so one of the things that we're doing, you hit it on the button about education, we're trying to bring them more education. We're trying to bring more communication about standards, certifications, things like that, right? We're looking at the same thing down in Latin America. We're even looking at the same idea in Asia Pacific. Every market's a little different, so we have to really understand their needs. But with Europe, I think one of the things that we're trying to spend a lot of time, and I've been over like 3 or 4 times talking with the Europeans, and I talk with the DSF Europe guys quite a bit, is what do they need? And how do let's set some goals, and we'll look at what are our goals for a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. How do we get to those levels to help grow the organization?
Rich Ventura, Chairman of the Digital Signage Federation, thank you very much.